So when I watch a Pixar movie, I get really emotional, and because there's still that inner child with me, I still have like my stuffed plushies, and like I like watch it with them, and when I get emotional, I just like hug them, and I start crying, and Nemo, this is so sad. Give me a moment. Give me a moment.
It's a pelican!
Everybody hold on!
Little help over
Finding
here.
Nemo. Well, since Finding Dory is coming out tonight, I decided to rewatch Finding Nemo. It's been 13 years since this movie came out. I was like 6. Wow. When I was a kid, my parents would always take me to Cardi's Furniture, and they would always play Finding Nemo on the screen, so like my parents would just leave me there, and we would just watch Finding Nemo. And I've seen that movie like a billion times, because for some reason we went to Cardi's a billion times when I was a kid. And now looking back on it, I think I appreciate this movie more as an art piece instead of just a kid's film. In the same way for all the other Pixar films. They are more than just kids' films, they're actually really good commentaries on adult subjects. And after 13 years, this movie still holds up. I mean, the visuals still look gorgeous, the ocean looks beautiful. And it's like, it's almost like you watching like Planet Earth, but in like a CGI, animated version. This is a really good script, and if you look at like the way all the arcs are written, they're written really tightly. Like most of the major players and the major characters, they go through an arc. Take Marlin, the dad. He goes from being a very, overprotective father to slowly, accepting the fact that you can't, be overprotective of your kids. Sometimes and someday you're just going to let them go, and you can't always be there to, hold their hand. And then you have Dory, played by Ellen DeGeneres. And she is the comedy relief of this movie. But she also has a great arc where she goes from, a person who's, who loses all this memory and can't remember things to, remembering things and, taking responsibility, and also serves as a foil to Marlin's character. And they have Nemo, who's very, not that fond of his dad's overprotectiveness, and then he goes to, realize how much his dad actually does love him by hearing, the stories of how he went through, all these perils and journeys to find Nemo. And this is also a great adventure movie. Like, this movie moves pretty fast. You go from, like sharks to whales to, all these fishes to turtles. And it's just a very, a great memorable adventure movie. It's got something for, both kids and adults. If you think about it, at the end of the day, there is no real villain in this. And the real villain is the characters themselves and the flaws they deal with and how they overcome it. And that's how they overcome their, the villain, is if they overcome the worst parts of themselves. And as I said again, the comedy is great. Ellen DeGeneres, because of her, her amnesia, it provides one of the, some of the great comedy moments and other things. And also there's a lot of great, like Easter eggs, like Bruce the shark is, Bruce from Jaws. And when, Nemo and his father are going to, the first day of school, and, Marlin, the father, is, jokingly saying, oh, I'll go, talk to a shark, and then after I talk to a shark, I'll talk to a whale, half jokingly, which is what actually happened. So it's some, clever foreshadowing that only if you watch it again, you'll actually realize it. It's not beating you over the head with it. I didn't tear up as much in this movie, like in Up, Toy Story 3, or Inside Out. But there's a couple moments where I'm just like, this is so beautiful, and, that's what Pixar does best, like, they get us, all very emotional. I mean, it's really hard to say anything bad about this movie. I don't know, I was a little bit, like, not that invested into it in the beginning, but it might be due to the setting of the movie I was watching. I was kind of thinking, like, oh, this is, moving from scene to scene. There seems to be no good transitions. But, like, it's a very minor qualm. And this is definitely one of Pixar's best movies. I mean, most of their movies have been, like, up here. Although I will say it's not my favorite Pixar movie, it's still a great movie. I'll give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. It's a wonderful movie. Like, adults will appreciate it, kids will appreciate it. I'm sure most of you who have watched this review have seen this movie, either as a kid or maybe you yourself were an adult when this movie came out. So yeah, I'm going to be watching Finding Dory tonight, so I'll have that review up hopefully tonight or tomorrow morning. So yeah, tell me your thoughts about Finding Nemo. Tell me your stories of how you first watched it, what this movie means to you, and I'll see you in the next review.